You already know what it is. You already know what it do. Of course, we back.
We
They're
here.
back. Bodie's here. Chase is here. Of course, we're talking about one thing only. Talking about the Atlanta Falcons.
All day.
Well, that being said, let's go ahead and get right to it. Let's start the podcast. Let's start the show. Yep. You already know what it is. You already know what to do.
It's good, my people.
One time for the fan. We are back like that. Of course, we're talking Falcons football every Wednesday, every Sunday, but because of the off season, just every Sunday for now. But we might have to start cranking back up these Wednesdays, boys, or do something because we trying to go into the off season on some vacations, like the Falcons. All this information and news coming out keeps you busy. But otherwise than that, Bodie, Chase, chat, what's good? How y'all feeling today? How y'all feeling since the last time we talked, Bodie? What's up, man?
Man, feeling like heartburn. I just scarfed down some hot wings. Like, I didn't want to be on. I mean, I could have been on the head, just really going through. But I said, no, we good. Got my little drink over here. We finna be live. This is gonna be a lit show.
Definitely gonna be a lit show. Definitely gonna be a lit show, guys. Special guest stopping in with us. Big Low Country Sports will be here shortly. Chase,
What's good?
what's good, man? How's everything?
Chilling, bro. Been a good weekend for sure, man. Just found out the gender of my baby today. Having a little boy, so shout out to that. A little Falcon in the making.
Congratulations,
got a little Chase.
Got a little Chase Jr. on the way.
I can see you putting the little Velcro beard on him.
No, man, it's been good, bro. Been a while since I've been on the show, so we're about to be lit.
That's a beautiful feeling right there when you definitely the gender reveal is one thing, but
yeah, no doubt.
Get a chance to stay up all night first couple of weeks and months and miss your sleep, mess up your work schedule, but it's for a good cause. And then when child starts to grow up, dropping them off at school and taking them to practice and doing certain things, it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. I remember I used to do that to Bodie. Bodie, remember when I used to drop you off at handball practice?
Handball, huh? All right. I got racket pickleball for
when
you.
I was living in Germany.
Sheesh.
One time for the fan. Hit that like button. Hit that share button. Hit that subscribe button if you're first time here. We got Big Low Country Sports getting ready to jump in here with us and talk some Falcons football. Chat is already going crazy because of the Falcon fans who love talking Falcons football. I know it's the offseason. Everybody in the chat knows it's the offseason. Everybody who's listening and paying attention to the Falcons knows the offseason. But the Falcons they busy. They busy. Hell, they're working on the weekend.
Very busy.
They're working on the weekend. But we got a lot to go over tonight, especially we're going to talk about the new defensive coordinator, Ryan Nielsen. We have a lot to go over with that. Some Lamar Jackson talk, too, as well. I know you guys want to talk about Lamar. Everybody want to talk about it. So before we get to Big Low Country, before we get him in here, let's get to the chat. All right on time.
Deshaun, always.
Right on time. Deshaun, what's good with you? Don't forget, Falcons fans in the chat, hit that like button. Run them likes up. You gotta get them likes up on YouTube. Gotta get them likes up on Facebook, Twitter, wherever it is. When we're doing well. Also, a big I ain't got my soundboard. 30 subscribers yesterday. Sheesh.
Gotta love it.
Yes, sir.
30 new subscribers in one day. Sheesh. Shout out to everybody who subscribed at one time for the fan. Like, we got rated. When it comes to subscribers.
That's a good raid.
Levels. That's a nice little small little raid. I like that.
Appreciate y'all for subscribing.
Shout out to everybody who's subscribed to the channel. We're almost at 300. We're trying to get to 350 before training camp. So I think we're on the right path right now when it comes to doing that. Deshaun's up in the chat, though. You said you can never, ever get on Falcons level, yo. Get on Falcons level, yo. What? Yeet. I said, get some. Always starts off the chat.
Ain't that right? The truth?
Gets us ready to go. Jeff Wolf was up in here. He said, Shanahan gone.
I mean, what else do you expect?
49ers lost today. Shanahan was on his thug. You see Shanahan thugging it out on the sideline on the ref? Thugging it out. I'm about to say, look at little blue face over there. Look at him.
Man, showing it repetitive times. Yeah. He's a choker.
Okay, Kyle. This your moment. Just your moment. It's your moment. The refs were on his head today, though. You know, but it felt good seeing Kyle in that moment. The moment when the camera like zoomed in on him, like in the fourth quarter, and he knew that it was over. That felt good. But then seeing him thug it out on the sideline, that was some real thug Kyle right there. Real West Side Kyle right there. That's what we need out here in the NFL for them ratings. But otherwise than that, keep going to the chat. We got a special guest. He's in the Falcon lobby. Rolls Royce just pulled up. Yeah, he there. I see Kuntry right there. Rolls Royce just pulled up. Ice Cold Wolf is up here. Said peace and blessings.
Peace and blessings, brother.
Yes, sir.
Drake Shoe statements up here. Welcome back, Drake.
Rise up.
What's going on, fellas? Rise up. One of our special guests we had on the show recently, Miss Kiara's up in here. She said, "Hey, y'all."
What's good?
What's going on,
Kiara?
Kiara?
Show. I
up
just
in
started
here.
Drinking. It's gonna be a good show.
If you're here from the Rise Up Tour, hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that subscribe button, tag a Falcons friend, tag your Falcons family. We got to run these likes up. We got to run these comments up. We got a lot to talk about tonight, especially when we talk about this new defensive coordinator. Jeremiah Weems said Falcons fan. He's up in here.
Of course.
Kiara out here scoping. She said, Birdie, I like the shirt. Better watch out. Better watch out.
That one off the clearance. The clearance at the Kmart.
See, that's that hater talk. See, that's that push.
Hey, let me tell you something. Right there. Wherever you get your Falcons gear, man, if it's Falcons gear, if it's real deal Falcons gear, I ain't talking about no jump shot. You know what I'm saying? Cut them put together in the shop.
Hey,
you know what I mean?
Kmart be having some good sales with that on the Falcons gear.
Kmart? You said Kmart?
Yeah, straight up.
You say Kmart.
That's all they have down there.
That's all that's in back.
Bro, I be messing with that when I go to the A, so don't even try me with that.
Yes. I feel that rage coming off your ass. You better get off backstreet.
Can you imagine little baby just run through backstreet like what they got out here, cuz? They ain't got nothing but Kmart.
He said, I came out here to do a show, dog. But all y'all got is this little room.
Appreciate you, Ravage.
This little room,
bro.
Congratulations are rolling in. Anthony White is up in here too as well. Let's get straight to it, man. We got a special guest.
Appreciate it.
I know y'all want to talk some Falcons football, so it's time to talk some Falcons football.
Let's do it.
Rolls Royce, doom, 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 doom. You never know what big country playing in a Rolls Royce. You can tell your driver to park it in the back country. You can't be parking out front. You can't be parking a Rolls Royce out front. Without further ado, the one and only Big Love Country Sports.
Really?
What's going on, fellas?
What's going on, brother?
What
in the world, Bo?
What in the world, Bo? What's going on with y'all, man?
What's going on?
What's going on, old country boy?
Hey, man. First of all, I finna shout my homeboy out down here. For everybody, for both of y'all that's using your internet and got your lights on, y'all don't never knock Baxley because they got the biggest power plant in the state of Georgia.
Come on.
Don't ever knock Baxley, Baxley, Georgia.
Yes, sir. Put them on the map.
I need a shot.
We talked to Chase the other day. He was he works there apparently. So.
Yeah, he work on the crank. You know, they got the crank system.
Yeah, he only cranks since he gotta power it up in the morning. Isn't that right, Chase? Kuntry, how you doing, man? For everybody that's here in the chat, everybody do not know that is Big Low Country Sports. He runs a super Falcon fanatic podcast out here that's doing very well. And I must say, when it comes to talking Falcons football, it's always good to speak with Kuntry and find out his thoughts about what's going on with the Atlanta Falcons. And anytime you pull up to Kuntry's podcast and you get into the chat, just be prepared because them comments are rolling and them Falcon fans love talking Falcons football. So it was great to have you take some time out of your schedule to come on the show here because we have a lot to talk about.
We definitely do, my brother. I appreciate y'all for blessing me with y'all's presence, man. Thank y'all so much.
Yes, sir.
Always. Bodie Chase, so we go ahead and just get right to it.
Let's jump
Let's do it, bro.
Man, we got a new defensive coordinator in the house. We wanted to talk about it. We wanted to talk about it the other day when the decision was made. We was like, nah, let's wait for Sunday. Let's get all the energy ready for Sunday. I even told Kuntry on his podcast the other day, save some of that for Sunday. I heard you going off the other night. I was like, yeah. Kuntry podcast going crazy right now. But let's save some of that talk for Sunday. But Ryan Nielsen is in the house. Chase, Bodie, Kuntry. Let's go around the table here. What are our coach here in Atlanta, Ryan Nielsen from the New Orleans Saints?
Yeah, bro. I like the signing. You know, as somebody I think you get for a cheap deal, like you brought up earlier. You know, somebody you can sign that you can have for a couple of years to really establish this defense. You know, somebody that's put numbers across the league since 2017. You know, the guy's got 281 sacks since 2017. We all know as Falcon fans, that's our weakest point. So somebody that you can bring in the building with that kind of mindset to maybe bring in some potential headhunters, something we haven't had in a while, you know, something to just be happy about, to be excited about. So I'm definitely ready to see what kind of influence that he has on the draft, you know, free agency alone. So it's just definitely something to look forward to. I'm happy about it.
3,000?
Man, I'm excited. This is a venture. It's not a sexy name like everybody's looking for. The Brian Flores, the Fangios. It's not those guys. But that's the thing, though. And you know what those guys do. I mean, not knocking them guys, but we got a young, hungry Thundercat, as Big Low like to say.
When you have, for podcasters out there, when you hear Thundercat on Falcons podcast going around anywhere, it's Big Low Country Sports. I must say, I haven't heard Thundercat like Big Country say Thundercat, but that's another story. But Bodie, yeah, we got some Thundercats out here.
It's like this: my guy is 43 years old. He's trying to prove something. Now, he was co-defensive coordinator. Now he get the whole kit and caboodle right now. Okay, it's all his. It's all his plays, all his calling, his coach staff. Everything is him. Now we see what he's done.
Did you say kit and caboodle?
Kit and caboodle. You know about the cats.
Been watching that
babysit cats
watching
on
that
the
baby fan? Watching that Coco Man?
Hey man, I got 3 kids. I don't know what to tell you. Anyway, yeah, man. I mean, this is a young guy who got something to prove. He's productive already. It's his first time actually calling all the plays, and my guy is really he's hungry. He's young and hungry. I wish some Falcon fans just need to just give the brother a chance. Yeah, he came from the dark side, but damn, so did Terry, okay? And you know what they built, okay, over there. They trying to bring a little of that juice over here. And that's the thing. I hear, and then I'm going through all these Falcons groups, and I'm sitting here and I'm saying, okay, they saying like, oh, he just keep hiring his friends. He keep hiring his, but this a good friend. I mean, look what he doing over there. Look what he did.
And Falcon fans, when they're mentioning the friends, they're talking about Scott Pace, Ryan Pace. I mean, Pace with the Chicago ties and the Tennessee Titan ties. And so
exactly. So my guy, I don't know if y'all know, but before Nielsen got there, they was like 31st in defense. Since then, they've been top 10 damn near every year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
that year they hired him, he
Started
came in
rolling.
and made them top 10
in sacks
almost every year.
Yeah.
So
Dominant in sacks, man. His sack
Yes.
numbers alone.
Mhm.
And then you heard what Cam Bum said about his congratulations and stuff.
We can say that here.
Yeah, we say that. He's a bum. F him. Anyway, he came out and he gave us some good nuggets, saying that he preached gap integrity and I'm trying to just say it off the top of my head, but I'm sure most of y'all read it by now. My guy, and we know how good. I sit here and call him a bum, but he's good. Okay, Cam Jordan is good. He unlocked him. He was the Cam Jordan whisperer. It's just a great hire. I mean, this is probably the best thing that could have happened to us. Okay, it really is. I mean, we wasn't paying Fangio all that damn money. Okay, please.
No, that's
and we need D-line help. That is our weakest link on it. If our D-line is solid, I guarantee you the rest of the linebackers in the secondary will be better. Our secondary was so bad because our D-line was bad. We couldn't hold nothing. We couldn't get there. So that's my take on it. This is the best thing that could have happened to us. Best thing, like number one. And I didn't see it at first, but I see it. They brought me to the lights.
Falcon fans, hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that subscribe button. Country, before we get to you, got Anthony White. He said, "What's good, gentlemen? Like the Ryan Nielsen hire. They're getting the Dean Pease guys out of here, and I'm good with it. Young guy with new ideas, great experience with pass rush and the D line." Country, I heard what you said the other night on Ryan Nielsen, and once again, you spot on when it comes to talking about the Atlanta Falcons.
Yes.
So
he said, "Yes." But yeah,
what section are you in the Benz? Your section is good for this season. Trust me, I guarantee you.
We're 135.
135, section 135. You are good. Trust me, you are good for next season. But yeah, Country, just your thoughts on Ryan Nielsen. What does he bring to the Atlanta Falcons, and just what do you know? I know you know something about.
Well, I mean, so first of all, I just look at it like from a coach's perspective, right? Whenever you can get a coach from a team in your division or a team in your region, like that doesn't only give you inside intel on that team, but he's also familiar with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Carolina Panthers, right? So that's a plus in itself. And then just like Bodie, once again, I tell people all the time, Bodie is that dude when it comes to the analysis. It's one of those situations where, think about it. If you got a Brian Flores and he gets this defense top 15 next year, he's in the win. If you get a Wilkes and it's a top 20 defense next year, he's gone. So it's like, why not get a young Thundercat who has to prove himself? I mean, because think about it, it's not only the fact that whenever the things that he did with New Orleans, because since he's been with the New Orleans Saints, that team has been second in the league in sacks, like 270 sacks since 2017.
281.
Yeah, 281. Yeah, perfect. So not only that, but think about who he's been around. He's a coaching grandchild of the great Buddy Ryan. He coached with Rob Ryan in NC State.
Well, say it louder for the cats in the back.
That's why you bring Country on these type of podcasts, man. He gives you
played under. Think about this. He played under Pete Carroll. We know what Pete Carroll's capable of doing when it comes to
at USC.
Yes, he was an assistant with Pete Carroll at USC. It's like Pete Carroll took that Seattle Seahawks team that everybody thought was just going to win 3 games this year to the playoffs, while Russell Wilson, I don't know how many games they won, but they was on the struggle bus. They were driving.
Yeah, right.
So, I mean, if we legit think about it, the coaching in today's NFL is starting to become a young man's game. Much respect to Dean Pease. Much respect to him, legendary coach. But we have to acknowledge Dean Pease was getting kind of dated. He was getting kind of stubborn. So it's one of those cases. Like it's a young man's game now, and now hopefully we're getting a chance to go in that direction.
This is good, Falcons fans. I mean, the flashy hire was going to be Flores, Fangio, which we heard about Fangio going to the Dolphins with the contract. Now he's the highest paid defensive coordinator, I believe, right now in the league. And that's good to hear because
good for him.
If he wasn't going to pay that, good to you. Flores, I do think Flores wants a head coaching job here in the NFL. And I think the DC, the defensive coordinator position in Atlanta, like you said, he gets 10 or 15, gets the defense to like top 15, they're out of here. Same thing for Wilkes too as well. To get the defense to top 15, they're out of here. So 1 year deal type of move. But Nielsen is somebody you can't grow on. And Kuntry, you mentioned this the other night. And Falcon fans, we don't want to just throw this out there, but we have to. If Arthur Smith does get on the hot seat this season, which we don't never want the coach of the Falcons on a hot seat. That means something's not going right. But let's just say Arthur Smith is on his way out within the next year or two. Would you want Rags as your coach, or would you want Ryan Nielsen? I think right now in the portfolio, I'll go with Ryan Nielsen to be the head coach. But I'm just saying, we don't want it to happen. But if things don't get right here in Atlanta, gotta go left. Because we've been fighting for a long time now, and it's time to get back to the playoffs. That's the first hump. First of all, the first hump is to get a winning record again. I don't think you've had a winning record in like 4 years. I believe you've been at 300. You've been at 500 even this year three times.
Yeah.
Since 2017, you haven't had a winning record. You got to get back on track with that first. Next hump, get to the playoffs. See what's going on with the Eagles and some of these other teams, the Bengals, the Chiefs, the 49ers. We got to get back into the runnings, boys. And with the hire of Ryan Nielsen, I feel like that's a really good, decent hire for the Falcons. Going over his stats, going over him, his coaching profile, he's done a great job with the New Orleans Saints. Mm-hmm. And he's a good friend of Terry. So I'm not going to go over, hey, the Falcons should have just went with this guy and this guy. We're going to trust what the organization does. We're not in the war room. You feel what I'm saying? So I know a lot of people was upset. Ryan Nielsen, you want to go get a guy from the Saints? What are you doing? For me, if you can turn this defense around, if you can help turn this team around, some of these assistants that you're getting ready to bring in, the rumor about Jerry Gray now being linked to the Falcons, if that is big, and he's part of the Ryan Nielsen staff, that is big because Ryan Nielsen's first day got rid of 3 coaches. Yeah. First day. And I understand there were coaches for the Falcons, and we don't bash nobody, but some of the coaches that he got rid of was some of the areas that we was having problems in.
This is a performance-based business, okay?
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So it's nothing to them personally, but we trying to perform at our highest potential. And that's the thing. Well, I'm going to say one more thing. Ahead, one more thing. I mean, it's just a big thing. I don't know any Falcons fans y'all realize that man was about to go to LSU, and it's a big deal when Sean Payton says, "Oh no, I get you. No, I don't want you to leave. No, I get you a raise. Mm-hmm. I get you a raise. He got that man a raise and a assistant head coach. Mm-hmm. So right behind him. Mm-hmm. And come on, that's big. That just shows what a great coach like Sean Payton thinks about Ryan Nielsen. So that's a big thing to think about. I don't know if y'all realize how big that is, but that's pretty big.
Falcon fans, you gotta hate this, but you gotta love this too. Some of those sacks that Matt Ryan was getting put on his back down there in New Orleans or here at the Benz, part of it was because of Ryan Nielsen.
A lot of it.
Just want to get to that. Let's go to Trey Hendrickson, who now plays for the Bengals, who came from the Saints. That large deal that he got with the Bengals, I think he was a product too as well as of Ryan Nielsen.
He built Trey Hendrickson. I mean, he had the tools. Trey Hendrickson was a later round draft pick, but he helped him get better. And that man got the bag because he performed in that defense. So,
and I know there's some podcasts out there in New Orleans that, or some fans that probably watch this podcast thinking like, oh, the Falcon fans are giving us some praise. Nah, hold on. Hold on. Our new coach came from New Orleans. So we gonna talk football here.
Yeah,
there was times when their defense was, kicking some ass in the NFL.
Yeah.
Can't deny it.
I mean, think about this, guys. It's like, if you're in the corporate world, you know that you go to your competition to create their competition, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, whenever Target was becoming Target, they were taking people from Walmart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
Same when
know,
Tesla was doing
Absolutely.
their thing. Yeah.
exactly. My wife, she's working for a startup insurance company now. She's the head of subrogation. They got her from Allstate.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, so it continuously happens behind the scenes. So it's like I know everybody. I think a lot of people are getting upset about us getting somebody from the Saints, but this kind of thing happens on the regular.
all the
Like,
time.
yeah, like
Yep.
this isn't something that's unfounded.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this happens
Come
all
on
the
now.
time. So
Come
this
on now. Kirby Smart came from Alabama, that damn
Hello.
monster over there.
And I
See what
want
he
to go
doing.
over
Go Dogs.
the way Terry probably went into the interview, knowing Ryan versus going into the interview with, somebody who's out here looking for the job, 1-year deal, get better. Hey, I'm going for a head coaching job, or pay me all this money and I'll see what I can do with your team, versus Terry going in there saying, hey, I know Ryan. He's a good guy. If he's willing to come to Atlanta, he's going to bring a defense with him. This is what you're hearing behind the scenes, obviously, because that hire, that's why Bodie mentioned it. People's mad. Oh, you went to go get a guy from New Orleans. The connection is there with him and Terry. So I'm cool with the decision the organization has made. A flashy pick, I would have been fine. It would have been Flores, cool. It would have been Fangio, cool. It would have been,
Wilkes.
I don't know. It could have been Wilkes, cool.
Mm-hmm.
Hearing after Ryan was hired that Wilkes wasn't even in a candidate of the Falcons. Because Jeff Schultz reported it. Wilkes wasn't even the candidate. So that rumor probably just came out from all over. Al Holcomb was one of the names people heard of. He can still be a part of this coaching staff too as well.
exactly.
Funny thing is, Jerry Gray's name was thrown around in the defensive coordinator early. But now he might be joining the staff under Ryan Nielsen. So Al Holcomb, if you want to come and bring some of your schemes over here too, because I ain't gonna lie, Carolina had a good defensive front in the front for a couple years.
Yeah,
They did.
But going over Ryan Nielsen, going over the 48 sacks for the Saints this year, Cam Jordan 8.5, a person that we hate here in Atlanta. Ellis 7 sacks, Demario Davis 6.5, Granderson 5.5, Ominyata 5 sacks. I mean, 2 of the linebackers is in the top 3 in sacks for their team.
Mm-hmm.
2 linebackers is top 3 in sacks on their team. Even though it's 6.5 and 7, do we got 2 linebackers right now that had 7 sacks on their own this year?
Nah.
We got to look at that.
Together.
We got to look.
Yeah,
we got to
probably
look at
again.
this. Ryan Nielsen's bringing a defense over here in Atlanta. He gonna set up something. And like the title says, you want to build the future. The way to do it is you got to rebuild on your own. And the Falcons, they're going to do it here in Atlanta. You got the money. You got the top 10 draft pick. We talked about it. Out of the 10 names we named last week, Kuntry, 2 players are offensive. The other players are 8. So the other players are defensive. You got the kid from TCU, the wide receiver. You got the kid from USC, Addison, the wide receiver. Otherwise than that, the other 8 players I named was all defensive picks.
Exactly.
Kuntry.
Also, you think about this right here. The Atlanta Falcons are kind of going off of the same. They're kind of going by the same process that the Los Angeles Rams went under with Sean McVay. I don't know if y'all remember when Sean McVay first got his job. What did he do?
Mm-hmm.
He hired some older guys, right? He
hired Wade Phillips was over there, right? Yeah, Wade Phillips.
Yeah, he hired Wade Phillips
and
a lot of experienced guys to coach those positions. Now, moving forward, what he did was after he got his feet kind of set up under him, that's when he started getting the younger guys and really started implementing, the things that they really want to do in place. And I feel, I kind of feel like that's what Arthur Smith is doing. He this is his first head coaching job. And he was like, well, look, let me get somebody who's seen a few pecan seasons to kind of help me, get everything up underneath me. And then, now, I'm familiar with how everything goes. I'm familiar with how to put a team together, how to put together my off-season program. Dean Pease, you can ride off into the sunset. Now let's implement what we really want to do and, really build this team and have some forward-thinking ideas.
I like.
Chase, Ryan Nielsen. When the announcement was made, we quickly started to go ahead and try to find some stats, some information on him. We kind of knew about it because, coming from the Saints. But you was excited about the Nielsen hire. You also know what's at stake here when it comes to the money that we got and, of course, the picks and everything else in the draft and some of the free agents too as well. But give me some more thoughts of what you think about Ryan Nielsen coming here to Atlanta. And can he turn this defense around? Can he get us to a top 15 defense like he did in New Orleans? And don't forget, they was facing some bad cap situations too.
Right.
But some of them players they drafted, that's still there. Some players over there. But Chase, get your thoughts on that.
Just as a whole, I look at it as like Terry said in one of his recent interviews, just said we're in like phase 3 of this rebuild. Kind of what you was like Big Low saying with Art Smith being a first-year head coach. He comes in the league, he gets his feet under him. He goes offense last year, first round, kind of gets some O-linemen, shores up the O-line, gets his receiver. This year you go out and you get your defense coordinator. So to me, what I think next, phase 3, I believe you go defense and free agency. I think you stack up. You get this coach that's proven to have these numbers that can go out there with proven product out on the field and actually do something, establish more plays, send some more blitzes. I think you see not only that, we have rookies ourselves that I believe will flourish just from year 1 to this year. You look at Troy Anderson for one. That guy was a beat behind all year. Players progress tremendously in just a year to year 2. So I feel like a coach like that, somebody that can come in and even help these guys take that next step. I think Atlanta gets his defense shirt up, man. I think we're back in that playoff run. We're back in those winning seasons. We're back in maybe taking NFC South. So just something to look forward to. I'm definitely happy about it. I got a lot of hope for him, I'd say, for now. Prove me right.
The crazy thing about it is you had the chance to take the division this year. We're not even talking about this defensive coordinator and all this stuff. Now, who's to say? I don't know. Let's just say we would have been in the playoffs right now and would have had a top 10 defense. Would Dean Pease would have left? Let's just say the hit in New Orleans would have never happened on the sideline when the player ran into him. We don't know. But I'm just glad for the pick. I'm glad for Ryan Nielsen, the hire. Obviously, there's smiles, hugs, and handshakes in Flowery Branch. So they're excited about what's getting ready to happen this offseason. I'm sure now they're going to get ready to go to their next step. Big Kuntry. Terry had a conference call this week with some Falcon fans on the season ticket holder call. I was able to grab some of the notes, and we're going to go around the table here on just what Terry said, because this was earlier this week, and then the hire of the defensive coordinator came on Friday, and you're like, wait a minute, Falcons working on Friday? What?
Always working.
Always working. Always good to hear that. But this is back earlier in the week now, right? You're hearing Terry on the conference call. And some of the notes on the call right here before we get to the chat and before we hear what Kuntry has to say about this. Terry said, we made the right decisions over the last 2 years to be in this position right now with cap space. So you're hearing what Terry said right now about going back into the past, getting to the mindset of what they're doing 2 years ago to now be in this position for him to say that. He also said they will start in-house and work on bringing back players who deserve contracts. As a Falcon fan, I'm like, I'm waiting to see who's coming back. We had some names that we mentioned. We're going to keep mentioning some of these names and hope that they do come back. But the Falcons definitely have the view of who they want back. Some names going to go. Might be a little sad. Some names going to stay. We'll be a little happy. Time to buy some more jerseys. We'll definitely add to the quarterback position. Very happy with what Desmond has done. He will work in the offseason to get better and be ready to roll next season. No confirmation on if he's the starter. And this is going to get into our next segment about the Lamar Jackson talk. Because you're hearing that. Listen to what he said. We will definitely add to the quarterback position. Very happy with what Desmond has done. He will work in the offseason to get better. And some of these words you got here now. And be ready to roll next season.
Whatever that role is.
Double entendre, Bodie. I like it.
It ain't a tennis roll. I'll tell you that right. If you've been to Jamaica. But no confirmation on if he's the starter. We're going to get to that, talk about the quarterback next. Find the right impact players, he said. Don't reach for needs in the draft.
Thank you. Agreed.
Falcons had the sixth youngest team in the NFL, also one of the least penalized this season.
Because Arthur don't play that shit.
Remember the preseason, though? We was getting hit with them penalties hard in the preseason, and we had to clean it up hard. I'm talking about hard, like how the linebackers were biting on that play action against Detroit and play out. the fan base. Oh, here's a big one for you guys. The fan base has been amazing, and when you win games at home, it becomes a nice place to play for upcoming new talent.
Something Terry's done, man.
Jerome Payne, if you heard that, we win here in Atlanta, and we got a nice Benz, and we got a $3 billion state. So. Kuntry, you heard the notes from Terry. Some things to pick off of. I don't know where we want to start. Chase, Bodie will go around the table. Chat, y'all chime in too as well. Hearing what he said here at the beginning, we made the right decisions over the last 2 years to be in this position right now with cap space. Is that true, Kuntry?
Yes, that is definitely true. They made the right decisions. They made a lot of tough decisions, and I think some of the things that he's going back to is, we were sad and we were driving aimlessly around 285 whenever we let go of Matt Ryan and Julio Jones, and we knew it was a time of transition, but I mean, here we are in 2023. We're gonna be making it rain like Lil Wayne in 2007. So, it's one of those cases where it's like I spoke with Terry whenever I was down at the suites in the Maybach Lounge. Like I spoke with Terry. He walked by and Terry said to me, he said the same thing that he said in the press conference. He said that this offseason is going to be like any other offseason that the Atlanta Falcons have ever had. So it's like it made me happy, but it also made me nervous.
Made you happy, but it made you nervous.
Yeah, it got me cheesing, boy.
I mean, you're hearing the GM tell you some things that you can't fast forward time, but you like, what you got planned? Like, what you got going on? That's my next question. Like,
that's the thing. Like, I was gonna say that.
Well, we can't. There's a lot of factors that go in. I can't really give that to you. I was like, okay, well, I understand.
I was gonna say that this offseason is. I might be the most important offseason in Falcons history to date.
It is.
Going forward for the next couple of years, yes.
This next offseason, it really is. It's something to get you over the hump.
Is going to direct this team for many, many years to come. Okay, like we got. It's gonna take us, and we're gonna go here, or we're gonna go here.
About to ink some crazy long-term deals in the.
I want to go here. I think this is a good route. So
yeah, I don't know if y'all heard, but I gave Terry the new nickname Terry F Baby. So
sheesh,
the F is for Falcons.
God, so. Terry F Baby.
Please say the baby.
Terry out here. Remember that meme with the laser eyes? We get ready to go ahead and bring that meme back out. Because it's time
Terry
for
strikes again. I can't wait to do that. I'm gonna post that damn meme so much when free agency starts. Terry strikes again. Terry strikes again. Terry strikes again.
We got to get the meme. We got to get Eric Parker to do a Photoshop of Terry looking over the city of Atlanta with his face. He's kind of looking at it like he's gonna really turn this town around. Because one thing about it, you see Bengals, see the Chiefs this morning. Kuntry, they was out there tailgating at 6 a.m.
Yes.
The line was backed up.
Yes.
I'm telling you, Falcons fans, we got to get this fan base back together strong now. I done been to too many cities. I done seen too many fan bases.
Yeah.
That they do a lot of fan base ish.
Yeah.
We got to bring that unity back too.
And I'm gonna start it here with this. I'm gonna start it here with the new fight song for the Falcons. FALCON. Falcons.
Hey, we got to create something right now because fans are even asking for it. What's our fight song? I thought Rotimi had it, but y'all canceled.
Hell,
Rotimi.
no, you did not think
He ain't even dropped the second verse and y'all canceled Rotimi.
But the biggest way, one of the biggest ways we're gonna help increase this fan base, though, Jack Spade, is that shirt that you got on there, the Rise Up tour. That's going to be one of the biggest ways that we're going to take this fan base to a whole nother level because, we go to these away games, we represent, and, you know, all the new things that's going to be coming next season. It's going down like there's a whale in the boat, bro.
Sheesh. Falcon fans, I can tell you this right now with the Rise Up tour, for those that seeing it right here, big shout out to Kuntry now, who's a part of the admin team for the Rise Up tour, who's going to be helping us out next season and going forward with the Rise Up tour and how we can build and be better when it comes to the group, because it started with 2 people and now we're over 1,100 people. 1,100 Falcon fans who want to travel to away games. So when it comes to building up the presence on the road, we doing that. And we was here first with it too as well. I want to let you know the Rise Up tour. There were some other groups out there doing their thing. I ain't gonna lie to you, other groups out there doing their thing, but I know about the Rise Up tour. We did this in 2017. I wasn't doing it like with the Rise Up tour. But I'm just saying, we all diehards in this together. We all gonna be at the parade together. But yes, the Rise Up tour is taking it to the next level, and we can't wait to tell y'all what we have going on next season. Kuntry, Chase, Bodie, Terry also said we'll start in-house and work on bringing players back who deserve contracts. Kuntry, do you have a player or two who deserves a contract next season?
Isaiah Oliver.
Isaiah Oliver.
You said that, Kuntry. I said it last.
Are we talking about first half of the season, Isaiah Oliver, or second half of the season, Isaiah Oliver?
Second half.
That's my thing.
Second half of the season, Isaiah Oliver gets a contract.
He was injured, man. He wasn't 100%.
Yeah, he wasn't 100%. Well, I'm gonna tell you something though. It's like I've been saying this since 2020. And I don't know if y'all remember that Arizona Cardinals game. Let the kid play free safety. He's a free safety.
Mm-hmm.
Let the kid play free safety. I mean, right? Richie Grant. I look. Everybody knows. 2 years ago during the draft, all I was doing was singing Drew Hill songs because I wanted Andre Cisco. You know. Andre Cisco. That's what I wanted.
Tell me.
I was going for Javonte Williams. I wanted Javonte Williams. I ain't gonna lie. I saw a running back on the table and I said, Javonte Williams on the board? Okay. And they said Richie Grant. I said, all right, well, it's Richie Grant. My boy was like, he's the best safety at UCF, bro. I said, hey, welcome to the Falcons. Welcome to the Falcons. That's all I gotta do. But yeah, Kuntry.
But yeah, you know, Richie Grant, you know, that was you know, that's I think that's the biggest name I think should come back. Especially whenever you get a chance to get a defensive coordinator. Hopefully he could create some pressure because you know, we all know if you're not getting any pressure up front, it's almost like trying to guard somebody with one arm. You legit can't do it. So it's like, yeah, you know, let's bring Isaiah Oliver back. As far as Caleb McGarry, I think you should bring him back. You know, he's one of the top tackles in the league. Like, why let somebody else get him? You know, it's working now.
Which now hearing news that the Bears are in on Caleb McGarry too as well. So they want to drop.
It's gonna be a lot of teams.
Hey, you know, I heard news that I almost hit the lottery last week.
Sheesh.
Care about that. We getting them back. They not letting them go. We had a great run game. You know, we had a great run game, man.
Chase, Bodie, hot take. Any player, 2 players deserves a contract for next season.
Number one, I'll go McGarry. Just how big of a jump he did. You know, I brought up earlier in the show how McGarry's never had a full season summer camp. He never had a whole training camp. He either been hurt or was injured. This was his first year. You know, a lot of people say it's contract season. That's why he performed. But this is his first year, and McGarry's been healthy from day one. So I believe, you know, McGarry is really that guy. I believe McGarry can be that number 1, number 2 tackle. So I think you re-sign him. You don't let anybody else grab him. I'd say I have a total of 3 players that you definitely go re-sign. I'd say I'd re-sign Rashaan Evans, and I'd probably re-sign Lorenzo Carter. That's my 3.
Bodie?
Cheated.
You got your notes. You left them on that table when you were sleeping on the floor.
Damn. You know what? Yeah, I ain't sleeping on the floor because you ain't clean it. Anyway. Okay. Yeah, Lorenzo Carter. I think with the more talented roster around him, a better D line, and a better defense in general, he'll thrive in a role. He ain't got to be the top pass rusher. I think you get better guys around him, he'll thrive even more. Could end up with 8, 9, 10 sacks, you know, because they guarding them other cats, you know. So I like what I saw out of Lorenzo, and you know, with the pieces he had to work with, and he did his job. He had 4 sacks, I believe, this season, and he did good, man. I was pleased. The Oliver thing, you might have taught me on with Oliver because he was injured. I was giving him hell.
Yeah.
He was injured, but he came back. And I remember, I think it was the next to last game. He played his ass.
Them last 2 games.
Last two games.
Cardinals and the Bucks.
But he plays his ass off. So right there in itself, he deserves a contract. Of course, McGarity. I say that since we want to go 3 deep. McGarity. McGarity. I think he should have an incentive laden contract. Because you go what 2, 3, what was it, 3 years, 4 years, and then you play the best that 4th year. Just with a guy like that, I mean, he deserves his money, but you got to really keep him on his toes because they knew they had it in him. He knew he had that, so you give him some nice incentives to reach on that other contract, and we can bring him back.
I just want to see that offensive linebacker. Don't want to break up something that's good right now.
I don't want to break it up either.
And you got Matthews there. You got.
But let's talk about it. I mean, I don't want to be negative Nancy, but let's talk about it. I mean, let's look at, for instance, you look at the Colts, right? You look at the Colts O-line. Last year, they had an outstanding O-line. Matt Ryan was supposed to be that piece to take that team to the Super Bowl. They had the O-line, they had the run game. Then you look at them this year. And it's just like, what happened? They still kind of got the same people, and they even brought in some younger draft picks, I believe, to the O-line. So, I mean, it's just something you never know. Sometimes these schemes work out. Sometimes schemes don't work. It's kind of like you got to go with sometimes maybe go with the bigger name, somebody that's got the stats, the numbers, somebody that's been healthy 3 years, 4 years, that hasn't had that big injury in their career. So I think anytime there's a name that comes out there that's better at a position, for instance, Elijah Wilkinson, love the player, love the guy, but injuries has been a concern. So I think anytime somebody that comes up at a better spot with better stats, better healthy, I think with Terry, I think this team could go any direction with Terry. Terry's shown he can do anything and he will do anything. So I'm rocking with Terry.
And that's the thing.
Fans. Go ahead, buddy.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, brother.
Yeah, that's the thing with Terry. That's why Terry's sitting here not saying, Ritter's our number one. You don't know what's going to happen. Not the Ritter, because he did as solid as you could do to being a 3rd-round draft pick. But you never know what happens. Like I think I said it last week. I didn't wake up that morning thinking Tyreek Hill's getting traded. Like that shit happens so fast. You just never know. It's unpredictable. Anything can happen. You just don't know.
So that's true.
So Terry's gonna put all his eggs in one basket and say, "This is what we're doing." Okay, he's gonna, we're gonna do this. No, we're gonna lean. We're gonna aim our guns this way and try to shoot the cans off the top of the. I don't know. I'm trying to do one of your big low. I'm like, you can be aiming the cannons and shoot the. I don't know shit. I can't do it.
I know where you're going with this because you're excited about the pick. You're excited about
about
the future. I know how you get when you get to a Falcons fan. I'm a Falcons fan.
I want to grease that light pole. I don't know that shit you saying. I don't know. That's what I'm talking about.
Falcon fan, before we get to the chat, we got a lot going over today. This is one of the biggest things that Terry did say. Kuntry, Bodie, Chase. Will definitely add to the quarterback position. Kuntry, go ahead and get ready. Because the picture that we've been using all week to get you here on this show is the picture of you holding the Desmond Ridder cutout at the stadium. Check this out. Very happy with what Desmond has done. He will work in the offseason to get better and be ready to roll next season. No confirmation on if he is the starter. You're hearing the conversation last week of Lamar Jackson. Now it's time to get rolling with this now. Because Falcon fans, it's time to chat. And I already see comments are rolling in.
Let's talk about it.
Is the Ravens quarterback coming to the Atlanta Falcons? I'm glad you said Ravens quarterback. He didn't want to put the name there. So my thoughts, I'll wait for Kuntry to speak on it. I think everybody knows where I stand on this, but we'll find out. Kuntry, what is your thoughts just on the Lamar Jackson contract? I mean, not contract, the Lamar Jackson talks. The Ravens, are they going to keep him? He comes to Atlanta. What's going to happen? Is it possible? Do we want him here? Are we just going to? I heard both sides of the fence this week. I heard fans tell me if he shows up after I make my season ticket holder payment, I'm not showing up. I want my money back. And then I heard other fans saying I'm buying the jersey when he shows up and I'm in my seat week 1 at the Benz. And bro, if you hear one fan say this and one fan say this, that means it's going to be both sides of the fence with a bunch of fans agreeing and disagreeing. So, Kuntry, what is your thoughts on this Lamar Jackson talk? Chiefs scored again.
Did y'all see the touchdown? Did you see that touchdown?
I see somebody under the back. Kuntry.
Well,
Lamar Jackson in Atlanta. Is it possible? Do we want? What is your thoughts, man?
I mean, well, I just got 2 words for you. Jalen Hurts.
Yeah. Shit.
Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
Think about this. 2 years ago, Jalen Hurts finished the season out for the Philadelphia Eagles.
Mm-hmm.
You know, started off by beating the Aints. Thank you, Jalen Hurts, for beating the Aints. But the thing is that going into that next season, you know, he played okay. Like, he didn't play terrible. But going into this offseason here, they were like, well, there were rumors about Jalen Hurts getting traded to the Houston Texans. You know, there was a lot of uncertainty there.
Yeah.
You know, while the Eagles were, you know, rebuilding this team after, you know, they went to that Super Bowl, 3 years ago?
Yeah.
So my whole thing is that you're going to be paying Desmond Ridder $4 million for the total of his contract in totality. You know, if this isn't only going to Jalen. I mean, this isn't only going to Desmond Ridder. It's going to your scouting department. It's going to your offense. It's going to Drake London, who loves Desmond Ridder, and Desmond Ridder loves Drake London. I mean, you're going to have to add to the quarterback position because I know you're not bringing Marcus Mariota back.
Yeah, you're not bringing Logan Whiteside. He did mention that Logan Whiteside was the only quarterback under contract right now.
Yeah, and I'm sure you're going to want somebody better than Logan Whiteside.
Yeah.
So it's like you have to add to it. Now, that doesn't mean necessarily it's going to be Lamar Jackson. To the people who said that they're going to cancel their tickets if Lamar Jackson is there, or they're going to get the jersey, or whether or not whenever he does come there, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to be in 135 regardless. Like, I'm going to be, you know, so, you know, it's just one of those things. But I mean, if it was up to me, you know, it's like I like having a couple of dollars. You know, I like having a couple of dollars. You know, let's see what Desmond Ridder had, because everybody's saying, you know, why don't we make the big splash and go with the big name? How do we know that Desmond Ridder is not the big name? Because Jalen Hurts is playing in the Super Bowl in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And who would have thought that was going to happen last year?
Possible that Joe Burrow could be playing back again.
Another name that you can look at that's playing right now that didn't start until the end of the season would be Patrick Mahomes. That's a player that set his whole entire rookie season until the last 4 to 5 or 6 games, or something like that. And that's a player that produced kind of poorly in the end of his rookie season and came out the next year and was throwing bombs. So I think it's one of them things like Big Low said, you got to sit and wait, kind of see what Ridder's got. You bring him out for a year, see what you got in your 3rd round pick. If he's not the guy, you move on. You know, there's always free agency next year or draft next year. I think you let him get that whole year under his belt.
Lamar Jackson is not the only quarterback that God created at the end of the day. There's always another quarterback out there.
Thank you. And you save that money, like you said. You save that money, and you build that damn team around them. You make that team headstrong. Like you go crazy. And that's how a lot of these teams do it. They got their cheap rookie quarterback. They ain't got to pay him for a couple seasons. And then they get him weapons. They get that defense straight. Then next thing you know, you know, he turns out he could win. We'll see what happens there. And then if he wins, then you pay him later on. But your team is set. That's the thing. It's like a cheat code. I think John from Out of Your Falcon Mind said it. Like, it's a cheat code. Well, you got a cheat, $4 million in totality for however many seasons left. That's a cheat code. Get your team right, and
Mhm.
then you can put a guy. You can let's just develop Ritter. That's the best thing to do right now.
Hearing the defensive coordinator position, Ryan Nielsen, hearing that move hearing the move that was made this week shows me that you're probably about to go spend a lot of money in your free agency on defense. I don't see Lamar Jackson. I'm just saying, because I know people's like, your first move's got to be Lamar Jackson. So
yeah, some Falcon fans generally think we should get Lamar Jackson and think that we are going to sign Lamar Jackson, but I think there's fans that are just kind of into it. You know, this isn't the WWE. You know, we're not into selling tickets. We're trying to get rings. So you don't spin the bag on one player. It's proven through other teams that's done it. It doesn't work. So
a lot of us
build a
fans
whole team.
They just want to see the quarterback just shake 3 people, throw it off his freaking back, big toe, and just throw an 80-yard bomb. Like, you know, I mean, like you said, there's more quarterbacks out there than damn Lamar Jackson. If we end up getting them, we end up getting them. That's my quarterback. But if we don't, I'm not crying. Okay? I'm not.
So for me, when it comes to the Falcons, like Kuntry said, you got Ritter. Was it $4 million?
Yes.
And I will say, I'm doing this Drake London highlight video for one time for the fan. So I seen, I was doing the breakdown of Drake London and some of the catches and some of the routes he was running. I was looking at Mariota's throws. I was looking at Ritter's throws, and I'm like,
throws.
Just totally
Hold on.
2 different quarterbacks. So I'm sitting there watching it like,
throws.
Jesus Christ, this kid Ritter really wants to throw for like 300 yards a game.
He does.
He really does. He'll stand in the pocket and sling it all day. He'll run and escape the pocket if he has to. But his eyes and his vision and his focus is to get the ball down the field. Mariota had his chances this year. I will say Mariota was like,
take off.
He didn't wait that long.
Take off. Boy, it looked like Boom Man playing Madden the other day. Which I dubbed them pretty bad too as well. 26. It was 26-3 at one point. We'll talk about that later. Chase Bodie. Go ahead, Kuntry.
I was just gonna say I actually got over the cap pulled up right now. Yeah, I can show y'all like Desmond Ritter's cap numbers for the next 3 years if you like me to.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Sure. Bring it in. Does it work? Does it work on your screen too? It'll work. It'll pull up.
Yes, sir.
What? StreamYard got perks like that?
Hello.
Look
yes,
at
sir.
Look at Stream. Yo, this man just invited himself. This man is taking Kuntry is taking over the stream. Hey, you got my mouse?
Hey,
Go ahead, you got my mouse. Go ahead, do what you got to
Yeah.
One time for the fan welcomes Kuntry to the chat. Let me go ahead and throw this up here.
Can y'all see it?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So
let me drop this.
Shoot, my bad. All right.
Go ahead.
So as y'all can see, for the totality of his contract, it's $5.3 million.
Mm-hmm.
So even if let's say you go with him next year and you cut him, like the dead cap number is only $500,000. Like if you decide to cut him in 2024, that's I would prefer not to, but it's like he's only accounting for 0.5% of the cap next year.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
build around that.
Which isn't nothing.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing.
What do you have to lose?
You know what this really reminds me of? This really reminds me of Russell Wilson. And you know how they really built that defense and that team around Russell Wilson. And he had a chance to mature, and he became. Then it turned into let Russ cook, and know, Denver, it was a completely different story. But it's like, I mean, moving forward, like $1.2 million next year, opposed to 40-50 million. That's a huge difference.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
I mean, I would have understood if he came out like Nathan Peterman in the last 4 games, but my guy played. He showed promise. I like some of them throws he made. I like some of the decision making, and every game he got better. Every game.
So
Let's see what he got, man. Let's see what he got.
I'm sure you've all seen the
around
stat.
Ritter. Go ahead, Chase.
I'm sure I've all seen the stat of his 4-game performance versus Matt Ryan's 4-game performance.
Yeah.
His numbers are even better than what Matt Ryan produced out of his first 4 years. So this is a guy I think we got to sit and let's watch him progress and see what he can do.
But you got to remember, Chase, it was a different time too. You know, we weren't throwing that ball around like that back then. You know,
yeah. We was running that thing.
Everybody was. It was a completely different time in football.
And that's the whole thing. This league is changing. Oh, I'm sorry, but this league is changing. It's changing from that stand-up pocket quarterback. Every guy in here has got a little wheels. Got a little bit of wheels. They can run it. You know what I'm saying? So, like you said, different time. It's just football evolves, just like basketball evolved too. NBA evolved. Now it's all 3-point shooting in basketball. Now this is high scoring, fast paced. It wasn't always that way. Okay, it's just
what you don't want to be is the running around an inaccurate type quarterback like how we had earlier in the season. Because I tell you, I was doing a lot of clipping and cutting of the videos.
Ah, man,
and some of the passes, like the Pitts touchdown throw that he gets through, bro. I'm talking about just.
There's a lot of those passes.
Where are you throwing the ball, Marietta? Where are you throwing the ball, man? Like, it was sad. I was rewinding the tape like, bro, how did you miss that throw?
I'm sorry. You lose me when you throw a pass off your ass cheek. I'm sorry.
God, the upside down Falcon. But here's the thing. If you're going to build around Ritter.
Is that a drink?
Go to the bar. I get one of them upside down Falcons.
I want that upside down Falcon.
That was the throw. That's what it looked like to me. The way the hand placement and the legs and the arms, it looked like the upside down Falcon logo. But if you're going to build around Ritter, Chase, Bodie, and Kuntry, here's the cool thing. You have Drake London. Drafted that wide receiver who's your wide receiver 1. So you're in good hands with that wide receiver for right now. You got Kyle Pitts. Which I'm sure
mismatch.
He's ready to get back out there next season. Hopefully, if it's Desmond Ritter, you're gonna see them numbers going up because Desmond gonna throw the ball. You got Cordell Patterson, and then you got Tyler Algier. So you got some weapons around the kid.
That's the most important one right there, Bo.
The running back,
Tyler Algier.
You got some weapons around Ritter, and then you got some money to go add some other positions to build up and beef up, strengthen up, and what you got to get ready for next season. I love seeing that because there's a lot of teams who's trying to build and get the wide receiver 1 now, get the running back 1 now, get the tight end 1 now. We got those pieces.
We got them.
You got your tight end 1, you got your running back 1, you got your wide receiver 1, you got your QB 1. That's big right now, part of your rebuild. It's pretty big. You bring in Lamar. Here comes the fans that say they're not going to the games. You just want to sell tickets. I heard a couple fans say he ain't no better than Mariota. He just had a good defense over there in Baltimore.
I ain't gonna say all that, but
I ain't gonna say. I mean, I'm just saying. You hear the cats and Falcons groups and everything. I didn't say that. I'm just saying Falcons. But I'm just saying though, any quarterback who's here in Atlanta who starts week 1, it could be me. I'm telling you. I hope y'all got my back.
Will you stop putting yourself on the Falcons? Please?
I can throw the ball 80 yards.
You do this every week.
I can throw the ball 80 yards on the run.
50. You can throw the ball 50 drives.
On the run too.
Stop it.
Country, you should see. Next time you do one of the videos and you got the referee outfit, let me come out there with the ball and throw the ball and tell me if it's
Country
I can't do that because you're gonna be my competition. Because I'm trying out.
Oh, you trying out? Hey.
Yeah.
Hell. Yeah.
Falcon fans, I'm telling you. When it comes to talking Falcons football, it's always great to talk Falcons football with Big Country. Country, the draft. Before we get ready to wrap this up here, there's a lot of talks. The mock drafts are popping up left and right. A lot of top name journalists in the game are putting out their mocks. Falcon fans are throwing out their mocks. For all you Anthony Richardson fans, stop putting the man on your mock. Stop it. Stop it. How dare you? But one thing I'm not seeing, Country, I'm not seeing too many mocks of Will Anderson and Jalen Carter going to the Falcons. I'm not seeing any mocks of any trade up. Mel Kiper's put his mock out there. He said Mel Kiper's did his first mock, the 1.0 mock. So we're getting the tackle from Northwestern.
Lord have mercy.
So if we're missing out on Carter and Will Anderson, Kuntry, and you're trying to rebuild this defense, what player is going to be a good fit? I'm hearing, this defense could stay 3-4, could go 4-3, could go hybrid. But what is the perfect piece right now? If it's not Will Anderson, if it's not Jalen Carter, because I'm getting to that point now where it's like, shoot, man, if we don't pick up that phone at 3 or 4, we ain't getting neither one of them boys. But what is your thoughts on just the draft now? You got a defensive coordinator who wants to get to the quarterback. Any names that you think would be a good fit here in Atlanta?
I mean, I'm gonna be completely honest with you. Miles Murphy is the guy that's, I done got naked for myself. I think it's one of those cases where, he could play in the 3-4 or a 4-3 defense.
Mm-hmm.
He's long, and that was the biggest thing that we didn't have this season whenever we tried to run 3-4s, because I mean, let's be honest, Grady Jarrett's not a 3-4 defensive tackle.
Mm-hmm.
Or a 3-4 end.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it shaped him to the end. Yeah, that was kind of tough sometimes too, watching those videos.
Yeah, so I mean, since he's kind of short and stumpy, it's one of those cases where he has to approach it, like he's still a Dan Quinn scheme, and it just shoot gaps.
Mm-hmm.
While that 3-4 scheme, you got to be long, kind of set that edge and set things up for that outside linebacker, depending on if you're playing over or under.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one of those cases where I think Miles Murphy would be a better fit. And, the thing about Nielsen is that, he's going to run a multiple front scheme. That's what I'm thinking. And I think you just want guys who are pretty malleable who can run both of those schemes, the 3-4 and the 4-3.
Mm-hmm. That's good to know, Falcon fans, because I'm telling you right now, as you get closer to draft day, you got to look at it and say, Falcons finna get Will Anderson, they finna get Jalen Carter. If I don't see that junk on no mocks right now, if I don't hear no calls come draft night, Falcons finna Falcon. So I want Will Anderson and Jalen Carter. One of the two. But looking at the draft and the way we're getting ready to start setting up our mocks here on One Time for the Fan, if you're not picking up the phone at 3, it's not happening.
Yeah, I think they'd be remiss to not even inquire and be like, hey, yo, so, what would y'all want if we was to move up to 2, 3, 4,
I don't see those calls are making any move unless it's Sean Payton going to the Saints and they're trading that pick. And if you give the Saints that second pick, they're going quarterback.
I mean, I would think you do your due diligence, but those
you can
teams
see the Panthers, man. The Panthers are the team you got to watch. They could trade up to number 3 or number 4 and grab that quarterback. So
they want quarterback. Yeah.
But do you see?
So this draft you could potentially see this draft. You can see 5 first top picks being quarterbacks. This is kind of how I think it could shape out. Or, just according to how trades work. But
I can see us trading down before we trade up.
Yeah, right? I think we trade down before we trade up.
I say that.
Collect some more picks. If you're building up well enough in free agency, first of all, you go snag Daron Payne in a couple weeks.
Oh man, that's huge.
That's big. You go snag Ward from San Fran or Jimmy Bates or Jesse Bates right after that, or Yannick Ngakoue.
How about that 4th and 6 catch?
Say it again.
So how about that 4th and 6 catch right there?
4th and 6 catch. Oh, Casey about to win.
6.
Wait till the Birds get to the playoffs next year. But if you're looking at the draft, Kuntry, Bodie, Miles Murphy could be a solid pick here. How you hearing trade down? If we're trading down, I'm guessing wide receiver 2. Because if you're trading down, I mean, Coach, what do you think if we do trade down? Like, I mean, not to put you on the spot now.
Yeah.
But if we do trade down, I mean, that you're giving up a top 10 pick, which there's some names out there, which right now they have the guys in top 10, don't mean that they can't slide back down.
Yeah.
But if you trade back down, if you go to 13 or 14, do you still see us selecting a pass rusher? Or could it be another position that just best player available as Terry says?
I mean, if we trade down, and shouts out to my homeboy Alberto for 95 North Show. I know he's been on the Gonzalez train from the kid from Oregon.
Mm-hmm.
But
Christian Gonzalez.
I would trade down that to the 20s. I like that. I like that Ika kid from Baylor.
Oh, okay. Defensive tackle.
He's your prototypical nose tackle.
Mm.
In that 3-4 defense. So like if I did trade, because the thing is that I know some people say that he has a second round grade, but at the end of the day, it's like it's hard to imitate 6'4", 350, 360 pounds.
I was about to ask that too. Is he a day 2 pick or a day 1? I heard he was day 2 at first. But if he's sliding up to late 20s, back of the pack, that might be a big move to look at. But he's been highly talked about from a lot of people.
Exactly. Thing is that like defensive tackles, like they normally don't go that high because a lot of times scouts just look at them and like, oh, he's a big guy. I feel like that's one of the reasons why Jordan Davis ended up, not being taken as high as he did get taken. But now he's getting ready to play in the Super Bowl. That's neither here nor there. But it's one of those things where, like, a lot of times people don't value defensive tackles as much as they should because they just look at them. They look at us, because I'm a big guy, and say, "Oh, he's just a big guy." He's pretty strong. He got a good step, and that's it. Opposed to looking at things like the Ndamukong Suhs of the world, and he changed defenses. Every defense that he was a part of. So it's just one of those things.
Low key, even a guy like Fletcher Cox too, as well, who's been playing with the Eagles for so long too, as well. I mean,
it starts in the trenches, bro.
Yeah,
it starts in those trenches.
We got one too. We got Grady. We got Grady.
Well, yeah, it starts in the trenches with them big dogs down there. It's just that's where everything goes. Like that Eagles D line, ferocious, like ferocious. I mean, good God. That sets their whole defense up. They make it eat Hassan Reddick. He's a.
You seen what he did today?
He showed out. He showed his royal hiney today. He went off.
And this is what I'm talking about, guys. Is because I don't know if y'all remember whenever he came to the combine. I think he was like 220, 230. Everybody was like, "Oh, he's a heck of an athlete," but we don't know if he could fit in the NFL. And Trey Hendrickson, this is why I'm so excited about Nielsen, because one thing that Trey Hendrickson ended up doing, Nielsen said, "Hey, you need to change your body." He didn't teach him things that he needs to do as far as like techniques, a jab and club or swim move, rip move, pull down, all that stuff. He was like, "You need to change your body. If you change your body, you're going to have a chance to make a lot of money." He did it. And he ended up getting 13.5 sacks. Exactly. And, that's the same thing that happened with Hassan Reddick. And I feel like that's something that we've kind of been missing in Atlanta. It's like, okay, we could teach you all the techniques that you want to know in the world, but at the end of the day, it's one man going against another man and beating them. Sometimes going against two men and trying to beat them. And
or Grady's situation, 3 people.
Exactly. So it's like, he was like, he told me he needed to change his body, and that's what makes me the most excited about this new DC. And hopefully we could go ahead and change the culture in Atlanta on the defensive line.
One thing I see here before we go ahead and wrap up this show quickly, Hendrickson, you mentioned that. Cam Jordan, we talked about that earlier. 2 players that was with Ryan Nielsen in New Orleans. Defensive ends, correct? For both? Hendrickson's an edge rusher. He's an end, and then Cam Jordan's an end too as well, right?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So here in Atlanta, you're going to need a defensive end too as well. You're going to need an edge rusher too as well, which is why the next name coming here in Atlanta. Now he can set up the front differently. It could be, of course, Payne would be perfect next to Grady. You get a nice guy on the edge, perfect. Miles Murphy, whoever. You mentioned Clowney. Chase in the chat looks,
Clowney, Ngakoue,
depth guy, Yannick Ngakoue, a guy we can look at too as well. But you're looking at edge rushers and pass rushers here. Cam Jordan, Hendrickson. Atlanta doesn't have that outside of Grady, so you're gonna have to get somebody here in Atlanta to reward Ryan Nielsen, and you got to get a player who can. You got to get some. Hey, I'm telling you, you got to get a pass rusher. You got to get a sack master, a sack leader, somebody get us over 10
Ryan
sacks.
Tann's going to be all over this draft. All over it.
Daron Payne's a hot name. I mean, that's good if you get him in the middle. 11.5 sacks this season with the Commanders. Plug him next to Grady. Don't want to say you have to just, those are the two guys to just make this defense much better. I mean, they are. But you still got to get an edge rusher.
Yeah.
You got to get somebody. Cam Jordan doing that for that long in New Orleans. Hendrickson caught the big contract. You hear a country just said, change your body. The coaching is already in play for Ryan Nielsen. For what he told Trey Hendrickson, that's big right there.
Not to mention, we might have the edge rushers on the roster too. We're gonna go get one, but
you dip Arnold's hand in the dirt. He probably coming at you.
Malone. He gonna get Malone right. I know Malone got a chance.
I can't wait to see what he does with Graham. Graham was actually starting to flourish.
Yeah,
Graham was starting to come to his own this year.
He was coming to his own.
A lot of talks apparently that he's big on Jalen Dalton. I don't know where that came from, but I guess Jalen Dalton. I don't know. Jalen Dalton will be here next. Huh?
And Dalton got a motor, man.
High motor, yeah.
Like he never gives up on the play.
I like it.
Going to the chat. Chat's been going crazy. Can we go ahead and wrap up this show here? Country got some fans in here. They said, "What's good, fellas? Big Low bringing the Jiffy takes." What is the deal with the Jiffy? I've been hearing a lot about this. Apparently, nobody likes Jiffy cornbread. What is this? What is this?
Man, so we were doing the show, me and Coach Ronnie. I had Coach Ronnie mic'd up, and she was talking about, somehow she started talking about making cornbread, buttermilk cornbread. And I was like, I like Jiffy, ain't nothing wrong with Jiffy cornbread. I like it. And, I got put in the doghouse about that.
Yeah, man.
I like Jiffy.
What's wrong with Jiffy cornbread? That's all in the doghouse.
What's wrong
you gotta add enough sugar to it. You gotta get that. You gotta get.
It's already sweet.
I mean, you gotta add some
more sugar.
You put more sugar in there.
You gotta put a little bit more sugar. Just a little bit. I ain't saying you gotta add a bag in there. This ain't the house party Kool-Aid. This ain't class. The movie.
You don't need no more sugar in Jiffy.
If you eating cornbread and cake, Bo, you might as well put icing on that.
Sheesh. Sometimes it comes out in the muffin form. Right? It comes out pretty good. I must say. I love my Jiffy cornbread. Especially during the holidays. It comes around like you making cornbread.
Yes.
You got the Jiffy? You got 6 boxes of Jiffy on the counter.
And obviously 3 big ass bags of sugar too.
Jeez. Coming in, you see the pans and you see everything. You're like, what a Jiffy box? Oh, look at the Jiffy box right there on the floor.
Man.
That's what it is now. Trey said, give the phrase from rags to riches a whole new meaning. Hey, Rigoni, what are your thoughts on Rigoni, Country?
I don't like it. I don't pineapples. I don't like
That's
it.
Real. I'm gonna drink. I was like, shit.
I mean,
I feel it though. Go ahead.
For the simple fact that it's like, if you look at what Dave Rigoni did with the Chicago Bears back in 2020 and how porous and terrible that offense looked, and then it's like we just willingly bring that here. It's like,
there's no new hires out there. There's nobody else to go look at.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
that's what you're cool with.
That was just what Pace.
It's the Ryan Pace ties. That's where the ties come in.
That's all it is. Ryan Pace hired his friends. Now I will say that.
It's. I mean, let's keep it a buck. It's nepotism at its finest.
It's the Atlanta Bears, Aints Falcons.
Hello.
Shit.
Bodger said, Terry F. Baby, please say the baby is slowly building his coaching staff, and Arthur Smith replacement may be the cherry on top. We talked about that when the show first started. We hope there is no replacements. We want to see our coach do good things here in Atlanta. I don't want to see. I'm tired of just seeing the coaches switching in and out here in Atlanta, man. I want to see it. You see, like Tomlin, like the Steelers.
Yeah,
they've been through like what 4 coaches in like 100 years. Like, how are they doing that?
Like 50 years, bro.
Bruh. Like that type of method that you're using goes a long way. I know the Steelers had a up and down season this year, but Mike Tomlin is a terrific coach. There's a lot of players in order too in Pittsburgh.
Never had a losing season. 15.
Never had a losing season too as well. So I must say something's working over there in Pittsburgh when it comes to the coaches and decision making they're making over there, and that is championship round too as well. I heard about. I ain't never been to Pittsburgh, but I heard about what they got over there around the stadium and everything. Yeah. I want that winning presence here in Atlanta. I don't want to see Arthur Smith leave the next year, Rags or Nielsen's the coach, and 2 years later Nielsen's leave and Petrino come back. I'm just saying.
Hey,
I mean,
yeah.
think about it, bro. It's the scouting. It's like they pick their types of guys. It's like they have a culture in Pittsburgh. They pick Pittsburgh guys, and they don't go out and get big name free agents. It's their guy, and they choose
Homegrown.
when to let go. Like they don't hold a guy longer than his time. Like they kept Ben because he got him 2 Super Bowls. He was Ben, and he was still a serviceable quarterback. But you look at all these other guys, the Le'Veon Bells, the Antonio Browns, everybody else is like they know when it's time to let them go, and like you got to make those tough decisions. And I mean,
you've seen those championship years too. They know when it's time to keep them too.
Exactly.
It worked.
Exactly.
Some of those players now that I must say back in the day, the Steelers defense and some of the yards, Big Ben and that offense, I was like, jeez.
They got the same guys. I tell you, they got the same group of guys. They have a culture, like you said, for sure. I can't say we have it. We got to find the culture.
We got to find it.
Alfonso said, "What in the world, Bo?
What in the world, Bo?"
Pamela Johnson over here. She said, "Hello, fellas. What's good, Pamela?" Drake, true statement said, Terry F. Baby with the true statements. Terry F. Baby. Gosh, we got to let Terry F. Baby know what's going on out here. Put that on a T-shirt.
Man, I did I tell y'all the old Terry F. Baby hit on my grandma? When
So
I
what?
was down there this week. Yeah.
Huh?
Oh,
Hit on my grandma, man.
what?
I was sitting there talking to Terry. And we was sitting there chopping it up, and you know how grandmothers are. Like, she was like, "Hey, I'm his grandmother," and Terry looked at her seductively. He was like, "You ain't nobody's grandmother."
You do the one button on the Terry, one button on the
calm down.
Oh man,
you do the Jack Ryan and button up the one button on the top.
Terry, a smooth criminal, boy.
Hey, he's smooth. Boy. I must say, man, I didn't joke with Terry about the Jordans, just random days, like, bro, you wearing your ones? Like, yeah, just pulled them out the box type stuff. Like, oh, you one of those guys. You one of those guys. Okay, let me tell you about this collection that I have too as well. But Terry's great, man. He's great. And that's the general manager you need.
Yeah.
He's for the city.
Yeah.
I'm not going with he came from New Orleans. He tried to build a culture around New Orleans that was a winning culture, and you can see they got it done for some years. He's coming to Atlanta to do the same exact thing. So I don't knock Terry for being in New Orleans. That was the man's job. He's here in Atlanta to do the same thing. But I tell you right now, when I talk to Terry, when I see Terry, it's always the smiles, the high energy, having a good time, everybody great, shaking hands, signing autographs, not walking away, hands in his pocket like, no, don't talk to me, don't talk to me. It's always a nice, a good high energy Terry. That's good because when we win,
like shade to Dimitrov.
It's not a shade to him, but I'm just saying that he looks like he's really for the fans here in Atlanta, and that's big to see because after a win or even after a loss, like they're still focused on getting the job done. And they knew that this was going to be a tight little group to work with. They had the contract situation years ago, the Matt Ryan situation, the Julio Jones situation. They've been through a lot. And to see now that we might be going right here on this, this up and up, I love it. I love it.
So do y'all feel like we could be like Jacksonville Jaguars were this season?
I think we're getting ready to run this Cincinnati Bengals run.
I do too,
and I saw the other day too as well. They posted on some social media site. They said, "Is the Bills dynasty over?" I said, "What?" I said, "When did the Bills dynasty ever begin?"
Exactly.
The dynasty?
Exactly.
I mean, they made the playoffs a couple times. They had a good little team, but contracts getting ready to happen. Players gotta. I heard some players didn't even go back to the locker room after the game. That's what I heard.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens there. But I think we can build something here special, which is why I'm on the Desmond Ridder train. Let the kid play. He got some weapons around him. Give him 1 year. Chase, Bodie, you guys know. I posted in the chat the quarterbacks that's coming out next year in the draft.
Yeah.
There's always gonna be top 5 quarterbacks every single year.
Yeah, always.
Yep.
So I don't want to hear, we got to get CJ Stroud. We got to get Bryce Young. No, we don't. There's another quarter. Spencer Rattler's coming out next year. Or Spencer, the kid from USC, right?
Yeah.
He's coming out.
Caleb Williams.
Caleb Williams? I'm sorry.
Caleb
the kid from North Carolina is going to be coming out.
About University of South Carolina, Spencer Rattler.
Yeah, I'm sorry. The other kid from North Carolina is coming out soon.
Yeah.
He's a top thrower in college football. There's a lot of players that's going to be coming out. It's going to fit. If it doesn't work here in Atlanta, you'll see a new quarterback. But I think Desmond Ridder is our guy to ride with.
I get what you mean with that with the Jaguars reference. Like they spent all that damn money they had last offseason. and they got in the playoffs. Now they was no slouch in the playoffs either.
Exactly.
They played a good game. So I see that route. That's us next year.
Got some team Ritters, as you can see here in the chat. A lot of people are going with Desmond Ritter for next season. Drake Shue statement said Lamar is about to get hit with the tag, and if he balls out next year, at least one playoff win, he'll be paid big time. However, I think I see the Jets getting naked for him like Los. Gosh! Right now, the Jets, Country, if I can use your line, the Jets are getting naked for David Carr. Apparently.
Yeah.
That's what I'm hearing. Because I'm hearing Zach Wilson might be out the door. And that contract is a pretty big contract to let this quarterback ride out the door. But I'm hearing.
I don't think anybody's getting naked for David Carr. I'm sorry. I mean, David Carr is a decent starting quarterback, but not enough to get naked for. Like, maybe take a shirt off. Maybe
PD Pablo just
take a little shirt
one time.
You're like a helicopter. I wouldn't get naked.
What running back would y'all guys like to see in ATL? Rather that be through free agency or a draft. So we're going to go over that when it comes to the roster breakdown later on this year. But right now, Algiers there. You got CP, Avery Williams, however they're using him next year. Of course, Williams is out the door. So you're probably going to need another running back. A draft pick worked out in the 5th round for you. I'd say go get what's my boy from Georgia? I'm seeing a lot of mock drafts. My boy from Georgia, McIntosh. In the later
I think
round.
we need a lightning to Algiers Thunder.
Yeah, give me Gibbs.
Give me Gibbs. I'll take Gibbs.
We can't get Bijan Robinson, folks.
No, we're not getting I know a lot want him, but
I know everybody like take
it won't be him.
Got to get him. My boy Dansky, man, I must say, I haven't talked to Dansky personally, but some of his takes that he posts on Twitter, like, bring him here, Falcons. Bring me him.
Naked. Completely naked.
I mean, yeah.
I've been sitting watching Dansky post, like, how many first-round picks we got?
He come with it.
Gotta love
Dansky, he keeps it real because he knows talent.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at it like, oh, man, that'd be a nice fit in Atlanta seeing that dude right here. But there's a lot of picks right here. The Falcons can go with. But running back situation, if you can't snag a decent one in the free agency, gotta go with the draft. There's only 2 options. Either going free agency.
There's a lot of sleeper receivers in this draft. I'm thinking of a guy like Rashee Rice from I think it's UMC or whatever his name is. He's a baller, dude. Could be a solid receiver too. There's some sleeper receivers. Like
we got the kid from Tennessee who would be a sleeper receiver.
Jalen Hyatt.
Yeah.
There's a lot of receivers you can get. That's why I'm
get receivers even the draft.
But here's the thing, because he asked about the running back question, and here's the thing about the wide receiver now. You need a wide receiver too.
Yes.
If you don't bring back Zacchaeus Bird or Hodge, you need a 3, 4, and 5.
Then you go get Jacoby Myers in free agency.
Yeah.
I just love talking Falcons football with y'all, man. I got to write down Jacoby Myers. Go do my my research on Jacoby Myers. Falcon fans.
Wasn't he the dude that didn't catch a touchdown like forever? Like he's the Patriots, right?
Yeah.
He was the dude that didn't catch a touchdown for like X amount of years. I think with the Patriots. I think it's him or was it the other guy? I don't know. I had to do more research. I'm just throwing it out there.
I mean,
Jacoby Myers is solid.
But you know what? That sounds familiar though, don't it, Bo?
Yeah. One of the guys, like it took him like 3 seasons to get his first receiving touchdown. But he was solid everywhere else. He'd get you 100 yards, but he just couldn't get that touchdown. It was
sounds like Julio.
Sheesh. One time for the fan.
Real familiar.
One time for the fan. Case, you gotta take the ladder outside, man. You don't put the ladder in the house. What you got? Everything good, brother?
Get off my neck, man.
Yeah. Jeez, not the ladder.
He over there stomping that rat. God damn it. God damn it. Hold on, y'all. Hold on, y'all.
My boy Chase, man. That's how we do. Yeah, look at. One time for the fan, man. We love talking Falcons football, as you know. Of course, we'll be back next week talking more Falcons football. But before we get to next week's show, let's wrap it up here with Big Country. Country, where can we find you on social media This was great talking Falcons football. I'm sorry we kept you 30 minutes over, but
No, man, no.
we could have put the pads on, went outside, and hadn't played catch if you wanted to.
Hey,
it doesn't make it.
As long as you got your gloves, because I sing it in there.
Sheesh. Competition.
Hey,
I just got the camera.
Hey, I can't.
Sheesh. One time for the man. One time for the fan. Is this coming alive in Burrowhead now? Or is the Burrow fans coming alive now? Look at this. He's leading the drive. Look at this guy. Oh, pitch to Johnny. Wait till the Falcons play in the playoffs next year. I can't wait.
I can't stand that
next year. We're a playoff team next year. I'm calling it right now.
Oh,
definitely.
Yeah.
Kuntry, where can we get you, man? Where can we find you? Your social media? When are you doing your podcast again? Where can fans just know more about what you got going on, brother?
Definitely, man. So look, you can find us on YouTube at Big Low Country Sports. Country is spelled Kuntry. I'm sorry, I'm from the country. Didn't realize I was spelling it wrong until I graduated from college. Make sure you check us out on Twitter, Instagram, at Big Low Country. Also, we over there on the Rise Up tour. So make sure if you're a fan that's going to an away game, make sure that you go to Facebook, get signed up with the Rise Up tour, because we're gonna be doing some real big things, man. I'm telling you. Great people over there, and look, I'm finna tell you, it's where fans become family. So make sure that you go to the Rise Up tour and sign up on Facebook, because we're gonna be having some off-season activities, and I'm sure old Jack and Thomas gonna be doing it big for these away games. We're gonna be doing it big for these away games coming up, man. So check us out.
Doing it big when it comes to bringing this fan base together.
Hello.
That's what the Rise Up Tour was started for. Not just Falcon fans traveling to away games, but you can see now, for those who've been in the group, there's a real family presence about the group, from people that travel to away games solo, who meet up with large groups of Falcon fans and hang out, to now they're not even traveling solo no more. I can give you so many stories of people who randomly met other Falcon fans in the group, and now they're traveling to Dubai, and they're traveling to England and all these other places together outside of the Falcons, becoming good friends. The Rise Up Tour has really brought a lot of people together. And I must say, when me and Thomas first talked about it and put it together in 2017, we did not expect 5 years now. This is the 5-year anniversary. We did not expect the group to be where it is right now. And this is growing to a level of I can't even imagine. I think we're going to be at like 2,000-3,000 fans by the end of this season. Which I told Thomas, I said, what are you going to do when we reach 15,000 fans? Like, how are we going to do this? Like, I don't know. We're going to have to do something. But I tell you, the Rise Up Tour, when you go to away games, that's the experience that we're trying to bring. We're trying to make sure people get together, meet and greets, have good times with good people, and then we go watch the game. We get back on the plane or the train or the bus or wherever, and then we head back home. We go back to where we have to do. So I'm glad that Kuntry now is a part of the admin team for the Rise Up Tour. And just hearing Kuntry just speak about the Rise Up Tour almost made me cry, because when you was with it, I'm just like, oh my God, this is perfect. This is perfect what we want to see here for the Falcons and for the Rise Up Tour, because we got a lot of good people on the admin team, and they're going to try to put some suggestions together, put some things together to make sure that all the fans are not only welcome in the group, but all the fans are really excited about what's going on next year, which we are planning. We got Chicago.
Yep.
We got Detroit.
Yep.
We're going to New York, baby. We're going to New York. I know we didn't play in Jersey, but we'll be in New York too as well. We're going to Arizona, Carolina, Tampa, and
Stinky
Town.
Of course.
And then I forget what the other game is too as well. Oh, Jacksonville. So Jacksonville and Tennessee.
Yeah.
So Rise Up Tour is your one-stop shop when it comes to having a good time on the road.
So 95 North, you don't got to travel solo no more, bro. You get up with the Rise Up Tour, and look, we're going to be there. We're gonna be there, man.
Home. Come on home.
Rise Up Tour, Alberto. Rise
Go
Up Tour.
find it on Facebook right now. Go find it on Facebook.
Rise Up Tour. It says Rise Up Tour away games only. Once again, we've done very well since we first started. But yes, Falcon fans, please be a part of the Rise Up Tour because we have a lot of stuff going on this year. Planned for these Falcon games, and it's only for the Falcons. People say, do y'all do Braves games? Do y'all do Hawks? Do y'all do United? Do y'all do home games? No, we deal with Falcons away games. Away games, and we got some people in our group. We're well over 1,100, close to 1,200. We got lawyers, doctors, city council folk, DJs, karate instructor, folks that work at the hotels, banks. But at the end of the day, guess what they are? They Falcon fans.
Yeah.
And when it's time to pack and get their bags together and go on the road, what hotel y'all in? What restaurant y'all eating at? Where's the meet and greet? What's for breakfast? What y'all doing on Saturday?
Where y'all sitting at?
Where y'all sitting at? What section y'all sitting at?
Group pictures.
Halftime photos, whatever. Where y'all going to after the game? Where y'all doing Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon? Rise Up.
It's legit, man. It's legit.
Rise Up.
You don't never have to travel alone again.
I met a Falcon fan. I'll just tell this story quickly. I met a Falcon fan who saw us after Seattle and said, "Were y'all the group that was running around Pike Place Market?" I said, "Yeah." He's like, "What y'all doing?" So we was having a scavenger hunt. He's like, "Well, a scavenger hunt in Seattle, Washington?" Like, yeah. We're not from here. We're trying to find something to do. The ambassador put on a scavenger hunt with like 20 Falcon fans was able to run around and sightsee, but then actually experience what's going on in Seattle. So it was a good little feeling right there. But yes, Rise Up Tour. I love talking Falcons football. Kuntry, we'll see you again, sir. I thank you for being a part of this show. We'll get you on before the draft, definitely, so we can get your takes on what's going on with the Atlanta Falcons in your world. Bo.
Definitely. And I definitely appreciate y'all coming on with me. And I'm thinking about doing, and I don't know, if y'all would want to be involved in this or not, thinking about doing a collaborative mock draft with some Falcons content.
I like that.
Y'all think y'all might want to jump on with old Kuntry, boy?
Nice. I'll be a part of that.
Let us know, Bo.
Is it going to be like one of those 50 people streams? Because that's going to be kind of crazy with 50 folks.
Nah, I ain't going to
be like, hey, man, what you doing over there, number 36? Or what you doing down there, number 45?
Exactly. Yeah, I ain't going to have too many people on there. I mean, because, going up into the draft is like, you're going to do more than one. So, I'm pretty sure we're going to try to, as a matter of fact, me and Alberto, 95 North and Smitty Sports Machine, we're doing the whole first round tomorrow night. So we're going to try to see what all the other teams are going to be doing, for that first round. But I want to be doing multiple streams for the Atlanta Falcons with, just a group of content creators, just to kind of pick everybody's minds and see where we might go. If y'all want to jump on one, I would definitely and greatly would
definitely
appreciate it.
Okay. Definitely.
We with it.
If I pick me at number 8, you know why.
Pick you at number 8, you drunk.
They'll probably trade up and get me at 4.
Sheesh. Competition. Kuntry. We'll catch you later. Thank you for being part of the podcast tonight. And we'll definitely be tuning in tomorrow night to hear that mock draft between you and your good friend 95 North Falcons talk show, Alberto. And I can't wait to see it. So we'll be on tomorrow night. We'll check you out there, man. And rise up to you, brother.
Thank you so much, man.
Appreciate you, brother.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Falcon fans, that right there is the one and only Big Low Country Sports. Chase, Bodie, special guests pretty much every week, damn near going forward. We might have to bring back the Wednesday shows because we love talking Falcons football.
Yes, sir.
So much going on. I mean, Philip Crawford, once again, tells us all the time, I'm glad y'all keep posting on Facebook. Go live, damn it. I want to talk Falcons too.
He do. I see it in there. He do. Shout
One
out
time for the fan is all over the place this season. We got a lot of great Falcon fans and journalists and people coming up. Love to get some players on too as well this offseason. And next week, Bodie, you mentioned it, one of the content creators names earlier. Out of Your Falcon Mind podcast will be joining us next week.
Yeah.
Once again, Out of Your Falcon Mind podcast will be joining us next week. John and Mike. I don't even know how we're going to talk Falcons with those two guys. There's going to be so many jokes being thrown around left and right. I just don't know. And I think Savion might be in there too as well. So if we can get him in there, it'll be perfect. The Bodie versus Savion. Professor versus Professor. Oh, jeez. You might have to wear your Falcon Komodo.
Shit. Damn, I'm going to have to get my gown.
With the Tupac band.
Yeah, I'm going to tie my head up.
Sheesh.
Yeah, young grasshopper.
One time for the fan. Once again, Out of Your Falcon Mind will be on the podcast next week, and then he'll tell you about who will be the special guest for the week after. Chase, once again, congratulations to you
man.
On the
Shout
gender reveal. The blessing that you have on the way. The baby boy who's going to be dressing up in the Falcons gear, yelling and screaming. You're going to have to get the Falcon earmuffs and bring them to the game. Put him on the Jumbotron. You know we can get
I already know my dog Chase going to post so many little Chase when he get to be tied all the way. Y'all gonna be matching this shit. I already know. I know you're excited, man. Shout out to you, Chase. Shout out to you.
Shout out to y'all, man, for real. And Bodie, thanks for everything tonight. And of course, since we started with draft night, One Time for the Fan is doing some pretty good things out here. So we have a lot going on coming up. Once again, Out of Your Falcon Mind next week on the podcast. Out of Your Falcon Mind. We'll try to find a way to talk about Falcons some way.
I just want to thank you, Jack, for cleaning my gutters. I needed that shit.
Hold on. Does anybody see my food? Anybody see my food? Anybody see my food? Because I'm hungry, man.
Yeah.
Anybody see my food?
And
for those that don't know what my food is, man, that's my opponent in Madden who keeps running from me, man. Telling you, man, he's not even showing up to the podcast anymore. It's getting so bad for this, man. I don't even think he's in the chat. Is he in the chat? Trying to Chase, where's he at? If y'all don't know, Boo Man started running from me in the Madden. But I'm slapping folks in the Madden. I'm on like a 20-game win streak right now. I'm slapping folks in the Madden. Bodie was a part of that 20-game win streak too as well.
Barely.
I hate to say it. I ain't calling out Bodie. Because Bodie played.
I played.
Boo Man is the one who's out here running, but we'll get to that.
Oh, Lord. Hey, you ain't going to tell them how you went on YouTube and got them glitchy plays.
One time for the fan.
See, you keep going.
We'll talk it up with y'all in the chat for the fifth quarter segment. Of course, you know we love going there and talking with y'all.
That man
call
glitchy.
It OT.
Don't play him for money.
Sheesh, Bodie still ranting about that loss. Chase, whenever you get off Xbox, it's your go. Just let me know.
whenever you replace them batteries, you come on over.
One time for the fan. See y'all next week Sunday. Last thing. Shout outs. Chase, Bodie.
Shout out to the new subscribers, man. You know, we moved up a good bit the past few days, so definitely shout out to y'all, all the new people that came over from Big Low and, you know, stopped by to talk with us. Appreciate y'all. Shout out to the Falcons and the new DC. Hopefully we get things rolling this year, man. Get back to the playoffs like we always talk about. So, shout out.
Somebody's asking me to go do a FIFA podcast. No. Buddy, any shout outs?
Yeah. This is not that football. Shout out to first and foremost, shout out to Chase. Y'all bringing new life in the world. It's always a beautiful thing, man. Kids are beautiful. Man, I know you're gonna be a great father. You and your wife, y'all gonna be great parents. So,
appreciate you.
Shout out to y'all, man. Y'all keep thriving out here. And don't forget to rate next time. Shout out to this off season, the most important off season I've ever seen as a Falcon fan myself. You know, this off season is going to change this team's trajectory for seasons and seasons to come. We get it right, it's gonna be prosperous. If we get it wrong, we're gonna set it back. So shout out to that. Shout out to all the subscribers. Shout out to y'all, man. Shout out to everybody in the chat. If you're new here, man, welcome. We don't do nothing but kick the shit, I'm probably cussing the most on this motherfucker. Oh, excuse me. You
gotta
gotta.
email
I gotta
CBS
hit that
next
button.
week.
See,
Gotta email CBS next week. Can't do it
I
this
got a
week.
soundboard. Once I get this soundboard together, I'm gonna hit mother beep. I'm gonna be hitting
Budget's going crazy.
Budget going up. Yeah. Shout out to everybody, man. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to day ones, man. Y'all day ones. Y'all been in here. The Deshaun's, the Dre True Statements, even the Mr. Peace and Blessings himself. Shout out to y'all, man. Y'all been staying here. Y'all been repping. And shout out to Jack for cleaning them gutters. I will not let you know that you didn't. No, I'm kidding, man. Shout out to Jack, man. This has been great. And to go through a whole Falcon season, it made the season go by. I'm sorry, I'm rambling right now. It made the season go by pretty swiftly, probably quicker than I wanted it to.
With the podcast,
this is the fastest effing season I've had as a Falcon fan in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Normally we be week 8 right now, but you know what it is. Yeah, I'm done. Shout out to y'all, man.
One time for the fan. Shout out to Bodie for raking up those leaves in my yard. Chase, shout out to you for giving him the rake. One time for the fan. We back next week Sunday. Out of Your Falcon Mind podcast will be here next week to chop it up with us about some Falcons football. And then we have another special guest coming up the week after. So please stay tuned here on One Time for the Fan. Kiara and Lisa, 2 special guests that we had earlier this year on One Time for the Fan. First time on the show. Out of Your Falcon Mind, first time guest on the show next week. So you never know who's going to stop by here on One Time for the Fan. Just know that I've reached out to a lot of people. A lot of people said yes. So it'd be pretty cool to get people on now in the off season, because in the regular season, we're talking so much about Falcons football and some of these people are kind of busy. So it'll be great to have these people on in the off season. But yes, One Time for the Fan. We'll be back next week, Sunday, 8 p.m. talking Falcons football. Be prepared for a pop-up show here and there too as well. Otherwise than that, shout out to Chase, shout out to Bodie. I'm your host, Jack Spade. Catch us on Spotify, Stitcher, and catch us on some more podcasts too as well. I'll give you guys the link. I believe we're going to be on Odyssey too as well, coming up shortly. So One Time for the Fan is out. See y'all next week.
Yeah. It was a great show.